In this episode of Success with Bob Mweti Show, I'm going to teach you what is a dual intent visa. Okay? In this episode of Success with Bob Mweti Show, I'm going to teach you about what is a dual intent visa. Now, if you're out there and you want to come to the US as an immigrant or maybe, as a non-immigrant, you probably need to know the different types of visas that are there that you can use to come here in the US, okay? You know also I'm very big on student visas because I came to the US as an international student, okay? But there's one kind of visa that a lot of people really don't know about, okay? Now, broadly, the US visas are categorized into two. One is non-immigrant visas, and on the other hand, there is immigrant visas. Now, for immigrant visas, those are kind of visas that you can seek that will bring you here and you can stay here for as long as you want. Okay, for example, a green card. Okay, let's say for example, maybe you have a family here, they file for you for a green card to come and join them, then you will be coming to the US as an immigrant. Okay, and you will be seeking an immigrant visa. Okay. Now, you can also have a company file for you an employment-based green card from your country and come and work here in the US. Okay, that kind of visa is also an immigrant visa. Okay, you don't have to go back. You just come here and you can stay for as long as you want. Okay, now on the other hand, we have non-immigrant visas, and these are visas that are given to you for a temporary period of time. Okay, where you come to the US and then when you are done with your business here in the US, then you have to go back. Okay, one of those visas is a student visa. Okay, and another example is a visitor visa. So you come here, you do whatever you need to do, then you go back. Or you come as a student, then you go to school here, then once you graduate and you are done with your studies, then you can go back to your country. Now, for non-immigrant visas, for you to get a non-immigrant visa, you have to show ties back to your country. You have to show to that visa officer that you have something that will make you go back to your country once you are done with your business here in the US. Okay. Now, there's another visa that is actually a non-immigrant visa, but also categorized as a dual intent visa. Okay, where you are still coming here temporarily, but you don't have to show that you have ties back to your country. You don't have to show that you're gonna return back to your country. Okay, so there's a visa like that. It's still a non-immigrant visa, but you don't have to prove to the visa officer when you are applying for that visa, when you go for that visa interview, you don't have to prove to that visa officer that you have ties back to your country and that you will go back once you are done with your business here in the US. Okay, now that one example of that kind of a visa is H1B Visa. Okay, for those who follow me, if you follow me, you probably know what H1B Visa is. H1B visa is one of those visas that are given to people who have skills that most Americans don't have here in the US. Okay, it's a visa for skilled workers. Okay, now if you are here in the US and you came probably as a student, you can transition from a student to a H1B visa holder. Okay, and I've said this, that's really the route that I took. I came as a student, then after I graduated, I was able to get a job and I was able to transition from a student to a H1B visa holder. Okay, now let's say for example, you come to the US as a student, you graduate, right? And then after that, you get a job that sponsors you for H1B visa. Now, when you transition to H1B visa, you're not going to get that stamp when you're still here in the US. No. But if you leave the country and you want to get back, then you have to go for the stamping. Basically, you have to have that visa stamp on your passport. Now, if you go to the embassy and you are seeking the H1B visa stamp, At that point, you don't really have to prove to the visa officer that you have ties back to your country, even though the H1B visa is normally given for 3 years and a further 3 years. Okay, it's still a temporary visa, just like F1 visa. But the thing is, when you have a H1B visa, you can seek to become a permanent resident later on. Okay, so when you are, let's say for example, your H1B visa expires after 3 years, okay, and then you want to stay here past the 3 years. You can still do that. You can ask your company to file for your employment-based green card. Okay, so when you go for that visa at the embassy, you don't have to show that you have to go back to your country, because when you are here, you can still ask your company to file for your green card. Okay, and you can stay here long term. So it's considered a dual intent visa. All right, no need of showing any ties back to your country. No one will ask you, for example, what do you have in your country that will make you go back? Okay, so you can come here and stay here long term. That is a dual intent visa. Okay, and a good example of that is H1B visa. All right. You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti show, presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you. Now, on to the question of the day. Someone asked me, hey Bob, can I work for more than one employer if I'm on a sponsored work visa like H1B visa? You can't really work for more than one employer if you're on a visa like H1B visa. You can only work for one employer at any given time. Okay, if for example, if another company wants to employ you, you have to transfer your H1B visa from your current employer to the other company that want to employ you. Okay, it's quite a process. I've done this myself before, because I've said I used to be on H1B visa, and at some point I was able to transfer from one employer to another employer, and I was able to transfer my visa. Okay, so it's possible. Okay, and on my other episodes of Success with Bob Mwiti show, I'll talk about that process of transferring from H1B visa I'll talk about transferring of H1B visa from one employer to another employer. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti show, brought to you by Appstech America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.